I managed to pick up both of these faulty items from eBay for a grand total of £95. The idea of the video is to take these faulty items, make them not faulty by fixing them, I really hope, and then making a profit. So let's open them and see what they are. Some nice, well-packaged boxes is what we like to see. Not always an indication of what kind of quality the item is. Can you guess what they are? Like this. I bet you can. Today we have not one Nintendo Switch, but two Nintendo Switches. They have what looks like order number stickers on them. Let's take a closer look at each one and see what the quality is of these devices. This one looks like it has some sort of honeycomb effect on the screen. I'm hoping we can just wash that off and it's not something that's embedded into it. Is that better? There we go, look at that. We've already added £5 profit to this device. We haven't. Not bad condition at all. A little bit gutted that they've left this sticker on. Hopefully it will come off no problems at all and not leave any residue behind. It's got a kickstand, would you look at that? Any games? No game in the game cartridge slot. Just our standard checks. We seem to have all of the screws. So for item number one, I think we've done pretty well. Item number two, how you looking? Wow, yeah, this is clean, this one. No SD card, unfortunately. What about game? Come on. No game, unlucky. But this one, yeah, really good condition actually. Okay, is missing a screw here and a screw here, you see, two screws here in fact, typically meaning that somebody's been inside this console. The plot thickens. We also have an incorrect screw up here. So far, pretty happy with my spend on these devices. Both of them were in fact listed with no power at all. You push in the button, nothing happens. So let's give them a quick test and then we're going to take them apart and try and fix them. NS22, you have been chosen as prey. Toolkit is at the ready. I'm going to head on over to our microscope that I have here, just to inspect the port and make sure that everything's okay before I go plugging in charging cables to potentially make things worse. Just as a side note, I guess, if you're looking to buy the microscope that I have here, there will be an affiliate link down below in the description. If you purchase an Andon Star microscope on their website, I get a little bit of a kickback, and if you use code JDT, you get $10 off your order. Okay, Mr. Charging Port, how are we looking? Yeah, the charging port itself on this one is looking absolutely fine. Looks good, okay. I'm hopeful. I guess I shouldn't really be hopeful because otherwise I'm never going to learn. The ones that are in good condition, I can never fix. Here I have my amp meter. Do we get a charge on this Nintendo Switch at all? And if so, what happens? We get 0.29 at 15 volts. It jumps up to 0.47. Being honest with you, that looks like really normal behavior. I'll unplug it and put it back in just to make sure. Starts at 0.31, jumps up to 0.47 with 15 volts. Let's turn it over to the other side and see what's going on. Do we get the same sort of story? We do indeed, 0.47 at 15 volts. And this is the one that has actually already been opened. So let's dive a bit deeper with this one, get it open and see exactly what's going on. I knew it was too good to be true. When you see the state of what I'm about to show you, these are the risks of buying on eBay. The cover for the CPU is not on and is missing. The board is missing screws, so I could literally just go ahead and try and pry this motherboard up. I'm obviously not going to do that, but you can see, look how loose it is. We have no screw here either. This isn't even the worst of it. And then we go up here, and here we have the LCD connector, which looks like to me that it's already been replaced, only because of the fact the solder joints here kind of slope down diagonally, and there are other bits that just haven't been plugged back in. So I'm going to take it apart some more, but one thing we're definitely going to have to change is the LCD connector. Maybe that's all that's wrong with this switch. I highly doubt it, but at least we kind of have a good idea of where to start. Just want to check the actual cable itself. Is the cable okay? If that cable isn't, then I can't use it. It looks okay. Doesn't look to be any cuts in it or anything like that, so I think the cable's all right. So we just need to change out this LCD ribbon connector. I've even been left a message on the board and it says video IC. There's two different sides of a story when you sell things on eBay as faulty or that don't work and have no power, for example. And I see both sides. One of them is if you're going to sell an item on eBay, you should know the status of that item. Even if it is broken, faulty and doesn't work, you should still know, you know, or have an inkling as to what's been done with it, what the history of the console is. The other side is you put on the listing, you know, I don't know, it's faulty, it doesn't work. I don't know why it doesn't work, I'm selling it. The description on eBay does state, this device may have further faults not listed as only a cosmetic and power on test have been done. You know, in the last video, I made a great profit from an Xbox Series X and an Xbox One S. If you want to see that video, I'll leave it in a card in the top right hand corner of your screen right now. But now you have this side of eBay where I could have completely thrown away some money here. I guess that's the risk that I take, and you should be aware of that risk if you do something like this. Now, this says video IC on this little label here. Video IC is P13 on the back of the board, which is usually located here. Somebody has taken it off the board. So someone has also stole components. So I now don't know if it's even worth repairing this switch, but I will give it a go because I'm a silly man and it's good content. I'm also going to put a P13 USB chip on. Then we're going to sort out this connector up here and give it a test and see what happens. I'm just checking to make sure that we're all good, and we seem to be okay. The tip that I had on my arm wasn't small enough to be able to get in between here, and it actually caused a little bit of solder blob here. We cleaned it up though. We don't need, there's no components here, they're just coloured in from solder. I don't know whether that's from when they took the chip off before and solder just went over, or it might have even been me when I used my iron to go over it, but you don't need any components here. We still have all of our filters, which is good. I'm just gonna get the multimeter out now and test these components to make sure they're all okay. Multimeter in continuity mode, black probe on ground. Okay, no short on P13, that's really, really good. Whilst we are here, let's just check the filters. Make sure none of these are bust. Filters are all okay as well. Turn it on its back, let's check out M92T36. This is our power management IC. It doesn't look straight. I don't know if this has been changed before. Let's measure, see if we've got any shorts. Nothing, no shorts on M92, but it might be a bit wonky, so we might need to sort it. And then finally, we've just got the BQ chip, might as well just measure around here as well. Also okay. So theoretically, all we need to do is change out this connector, the FPC connector, and we can give it a test. Now for the almighty inspection under the microscope. As you can see, all of the pins underneath there are soldered. That looks all good in my opinion. Other side, again, all good, everything's soldered. Ready for testing. Okay, this is the nerve-wracking part. I'm just putting the battery in now. So battery's attached, we've done the P13 USB, the new connector is attached, and also the backlight is attached. So what happens now when we go to put power in the device? Do we get a little battery symbol, which is going to be our friend, hopefully. 0.3 amps, 0.47. Still no display. Usually a working tablet would have a battery light symbol here, like a charging symbol to show that it's taken in a charge. Okay, that kind of sucks. Let's try a known good case, just in case. See what I did there? The screen isn't working in this one. Cool, my jokes are getting really bad. Here we go. Next moment of truth, everything's plugged in, it's different housing. Was it the screen that was bad? 0.07, 0.14. It's now stuck on 0.14. My guess is that the battery on this housing is completely dead, which is why it's only 0.14 now. And I don't know if it would show us a charging symbol at 0.14 amps because of how dead the battery is. So I'm just going to leave it for a couple of minutes and see if this changes. Okay, here we go. 0.32, 0.46, it's been on charge, but we still get no charging light up here. Okay, even though we don't have any shorts around M92T36, I'm still going to change that out because it's the chip that's responsible for powering on the device, the power IC, just as a last ditch thing. I will say as well, I've checked to see if the switch has been hacked by plugging it into my machine with USB-C cable and taking out the NAND, but it wasn't being recognized, so I don't think it's that. I was just comparing some stuff from this board, which is a donor board, by the way, I've used M92 on this, to the board that I have with the M92 on. And I seem to be missing a transistor here. I thought this looked like it was meant to have something here. And by the looks of it, it's meant to have this. Now, this is a different revision, but it looks like it's almost been taken off of the board. So it could fair well be playing quite an important part. So I'll transfer that over as well as a new M92T36. I took these little components off because they're a pain and you don't necessarily need them. So now we're gonna test. Okay, test time again. What happens now? 0.31, 0.47, anything on the screen? Nothing, nothing at all, nothing at all, Nothing at all. Devastating. Okay, so M92 P13 USB. Do we get a glimpse of the backlight? No, the backlight doesn't come on at all, does it? So I definitely think it's a power thing. Unfortunately, I think we're gonna have to call it quits on this one, which means we are currently negative around about £50. I'm gonna take my chips back off of this because I know that they're good. Okay, moving on to Nintendo Switch number 2. I'm praying that I have a little bit more luck with this one. However, that has just fallen off completely. The charging port itself for this one looks okay. So let's come straight in with the ammeter and see what we get. We get something, 0.06, 0.07. Ah, wait a minute. We get a charging symbol. We've got 100 milliamps, aka 0.10 amps. Maybe it just doesn't power on. Maybe that's what the issue is. I'm gonna leave it in charge and see what happens. Can you imagine if we've just got lucky with this one? I thought I used up all my luck in last week's video, but maybe not. All right, I'm back for my dinner. I'm now gonna check the status of this switch. Gone up to 0.62 amps, which is a change from the 0.10 and the battery icon here. If I push this button, do we get anything? Yes, okay. So it powers on. If I take it out of charge, does it stay on? It does. Let's grab us some Joy-Cons and see what's going on, shall we? That one registers, which is good. That one registered, which is also good. I'll just quickly run through the setup. All right, so I've managed to get to the home page. I've connected to the internet and that seems fine. What's really strange about this is how it's been factory reset. So you'd expect if somebody had sold it faulty and didn't power on, that it would resume from where it died, which usually somebody has an account on it. I'm just gonna see if it takes an SD card. Yeah, that's fine. It recognizes, that's good. And does it work with the game? Yes, it does. What's going on? Maybe it doesn't work in a docking station. I've just loaded up the game scene as well, so you should be able to see same time as me. I get a green light and there we go. It shows up on the dock. Joy-Cons work wirelessly. I'm just having a look on the listing to confirm. An NS20 is the one that we're looking at, as you can see from here. And it says the device does not power on. It shows no signs of life when on charge. A great suggestion from somebody from last week's video actually stated it would be best to look at the prices of items that have sold rather than how much they're going for to give us a better understanding and a better estimate of how much it's gonna go for, which I think makes perfect sense. How much they're going for, 98. 130, comes with a dock though. That's unpatched for 140, unpatched 150, 170, 110, 99, 99, 98, 99, 99. So I think based off this, we're saying £100 for one Nintendo Switch currently, just as a tablet only. So if I paid £95 for both of them and I sell one of them for £100, I've made £5 profit. However, most of those listings were free postage. So if you take 100 minus 5 for postage, minus 5 again for eBay fees and any promotion that I use with the 80% off eBay selling fees. Today we look at a loss of £5. I was incredibly lucky again this week to get a Nintendo Switch that was working. I also don't include my labor costs in this video. Thank God I don't, even though I guess that's probably worth about £2.50 an hour. But hey, we got lucky in the end, managed to pull through. I'll take a £5 loss. If you enjoyed this type of video, check out last week's video to see if I made a profit or a loss. Thank you so much for watching as always. Have a good weekend and I will see you in the next one. Peace.